All right, great. First of all, I just wanted to see if you had some news or any other stuff to come touch base with me. And then I had a couple of questions and just tell you where I was at.
Uh, do I have any news?
Yeah, well, I know you're doing some stuff with the friends, the friender, and then I know I'm kind of on both setups. I just want to just kind of just touch base with you because I have a whole path. It's weird. I've had all this stuff set up. My dad had a heart attack, so that puts stuff down a couple, for me for a little while. But I have everything set up to like be rolling out to be pushed out to these to the dealerships and stuff. But I just wanted to also see how I could implement how I should do it in connection with the Friender launch that's coming out too. Whether I should just keep going what I'm doing and then implement Friender in as I go, or I'm going to be doing a little bit of mix of both. And I just want to see which your thoughts and stuff were.
So if it was me,
Yeah.
if it was me, I hey, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Not you, my wife. Can you give me the rest of that joint, wherever the rest of that joint's at? So if you haven't noticed by now, I don't like love money. I'm not like in love with money, and it's not like what
Right.
the main thing that I'm after. I don't know wherever it's at. I just want that joint. I think it's okay. So can you give me one? We probably got one inside that bag. Yeah. Don't tell me no. I can't have my own fucking weed. What's fucking wrong with my wife? So
and John, you can't talk about pulling a bird out of somebody's pussy if you don't have photos of it, man.
They don't. They come on every like 3 to
Hey, Akita, how are you doing?
Every like 3 to 5 minutes they come on and they're like everybody, and they say it in like the worst Thai accent. Everybody, no photo, no video, no photo, no video. And then if they catch you taking a photo or video, they'll just literally.
All right.
They'll take your phone.
We can't get you kicked out. Yeah, you can't get you kicked out.
Well, they'll take your phone, and you're never getting your phone back, and there ain't nothing that you're gonna do about that, because a lot of them are Muay Thai kickboxers and shit. But anyways, like I don't love money so much, but if it was me, right. I don't like shit to cost me out of my pocket. All right. So the very, very first thing that I would do if I were you is I would figure out my most quickest path to breaking even, where now whatever it is that it is your endeavor to do, from your business relationship with me is basically free and not costing you anything. It's actually free. Okay. And odds are going and setting up a full strategy for exactly who your avatar is and exactly what you want to sell at scale to make a shit ton of money is most likely going to be a different process, more complex than just saying, okay, hey, I need that break-even money. So I think for you, it's $1,000 a month. I need that $1,000 a month. So I think for that $1,000 a month, the easiest and quickest way would be leverage as a friend or partner, either offering Friender itself or offering a bundle of the software that you actually have for $100 a month, where they're actually paying you, and say, hey, I need 10 motherfuckers that I don't really care what you do, other than the fact that you are on Facebook and you want to sell more of your products and services on Facebook. So whether you're a car dealer or whether you're an affiliate marketer, I don't really care. I just need you to be somebody who wants to sell more products and services on Facebook, and you have $100 or $110 or $200 that you can spend every month. Okay. So as a friend or partner, I haven't actually made it. I just started making it today. As a friend or partner, I'm making you guys a special deal that's going to be $111.12 that you can promote. And the whole idea would be you do not get more than 10 people to actually sign up to that. Because if you get 10 people to sign up to that at your 90%, that gives you your $1,000 a month. Right there. So after those 10 people, and that gives them access to what people are paying right now, $197 a month for, as somebody who joins the Friender beta launch. All right. So I haven't actually made that offer yet. I'm still actually, it's like the same offer that we already have for Friender Beta, except for that offer right now is $197. All right.
Okay. And when once we start going through our classes, how, because I know there's a certain percentage and stuff like that. Are we going to get am I going to start to be able, do I have to wait till the end of next year to start selling Friender with my packages and stuff like that? Or when can I start offering Friender with my packages to the dealers?
Well, you can offer Friender however you want. All right. So here's the thing with Friender. If you remember, on Friender, it's not an agency account and it's not a reseller plan for Friender itself. Friender is just a straight affiliate deal that you get 90% of as a partner.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that you can offer whenever you want. We still have Friender open and available for the beta at $197 a month, or it's $1,500 for the year, or it is $5,000 for a one-time fee. So this is actually the current Friender offer that exists for everybody. Okay, so you partners can promote it and get 90%, and the Friender beta people, they can actually promote it and get 50%, which is what they get. So it's $197 a month, or $1,500 a year, or $5,000 lifetime deal. The only thing that I will actually tell you as a partner is if somebody actually signs up for this lifetime deal, I'm not giving you 90% of it. I will give you 90% of it minus this expense that I have. So with this,
right, that makes sense.
I have an expense of, I have to actually physically pay $700 for their FHL ticket, and I have to pay approximately $1,400 for their hotel room at FHL. So outside of that, I'll split everything with you 90%, but I can't give you 90% of that and then lose money on that. All right. But so these you can actually promote at 90%. I'm going to create you guys another offer, which is this exact same offer, but it's just at a lower price. If it seems like it would be easier for you to sell this for $100, but again, the ideal of that would only be to sell enough of it to actually break even. And then after you actually break even, you don't offer that to anybody. You sell it to them at an actual higher price. You get them to actually pay a higher price. If they want to pay a lower price, let's say they're only able to pay $100 a month. You don't give them access to the Friender beta launch, and you don't sell them that. You sell them your agency accounts directly, where you keep 100% of that. They're paying you actually directly, and then you still have a way in the future to upsell into Friender at a higher price.
Okay, perfect. Super excited about the product. It looks amazing. When do you think the classes? And I'm gonna start showing up on our Friday classes. But when do you think you're gonna have the Friender classes?
I haven't really figured that out yet, and put that in stone yet. I'm going to try to make it something that is, they probably won't be set standard times.
Okay.
I will probably have some different time slots, so that since there's a wide variety of people, they can at least make one call a month or something. But I haven't worked on actually setting that up yet, and I won't work on figuring that out and setting that up until the very first version of the Friender beta is available for people to actually start using, which is going to be hopefully Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Tuesday. All right. So this is what I wanted to pique your interest in, John, and get your genius, because I've literally gone through, watched all the videos, every piece of software, try to play with it and stuff myself. Okay, and I've come up with my own kind of ideas on how there's two different silos. One, how a salesperson would use the silo to go find people that need to buy cars, right? That, salespeople that work in the dealership, but they don't want to be bound by the dealership shackles, but they want to start producing their own traffic, their own people, to find people that want to buy cars. And then there's another silo on how a dealership that wants to nurture people on three different levels: warm traffic, cold traffic, hot traffic, so they can continue to nurture them, but then also take advantage of that process. They'd probably be doing more of like the take advantage of also chirp lead, the business lead, all that other stuff. So it's just one of those situations. I just wanted to see how you would, on just a high level. I know you don't know a whole lot about the car business, but just how you would attack it. What would you use? How would you go about it? And then just a high level conversation, just to kind of just see what your genius, what your thoughts are on it.
So, as a salesperson who is selling cars, as a salesperson who is actually selling cars, I would hopefully end up having some software where at the end of the day, my potential buyers are opted in and on a list where I can be actually nurturing them. Okay. If it came down to Facebook organic marketing, then what I would be doing is I would be trying to actually, to some extent, I already know my ideal avatar as a car salesman. It's someone who lives within the vicinity of wherever it is my dealership is, that is most likely able to purchase a vehicle. So that could be, odds are I really am going to probably want to try to locate people who I can somehow identify that they're probably in my local area, and they're also probably maybe homeowners or business people. All right, so to some extent, to give you an example, I might go to a homeowners association group that's for my local area on Facebook. I might go to like a chamber of commerce group or a small business association group that's specifically for my local area, and want to actually start connecting with all of those actual people, right? Because those are the most closest people who are, now none of those people are going to end up buying anything from me directly from Facebook. They're not going to click a funnel and go to a funnel and buy a car buy a $20,000 car through actually a funnel. But they will begin to understand that, okay, hey, we're connected on Facebook. They know who I am. They know I'm local in their area. They know I work at this car dealership. They know that they can talk to me to get a car. They know if any of their friends or family locally are actually looking for a car, they're connected with me and they like me, and they can actually refer me. And the only reason they know that is because I'm letting them know that through my actual content.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the approach that I would actually have there. So I would be using all the organic software to essentially essentially do that. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, I probably still would want some piece of software where my leads, people who I've interacted with, I've talked to, I have a way to get them on some actual list, so that, one, like you said, I'm not dependent on the dealership, and two, if I do decide to go from dealership A to dealership B, I become insanely more valuable to dealership B, because whenever I come, I'm also bringing my own network of people who independently I'm keeping a brand with and keeping the actual goodwill with, and I have a personal relationship. The relationship isn't between Jerry's Ford and homeowner. It's between literally John Vaughn and homeowner. And they don't really care if John Vaughn works at Jerry's Ford or Jerry's Toyota. They like John Vaughn, and that's who they really want to buy a car from.
So what I was thinking about on this flow, John, is, like you said, definitely identifying the avatar, finding those groups, using GrooFlu to go through identifying the top influencers, the people that really interact a lot like that, get them in to help boost my algorithm, but also their influencers. Go through, set up engagement monster all day, every day. So, you're showing through liking the people, so then they go back to your profile, optimizing the profile. So when people look at it, they know you sell cars, they know you can help them, all the different areas and stuff like that. More not pushing them outside, but probably having them link into your messenger and then setting up the F and Evan and different stuff in the messenger to pretty much have them on the different levels of where they want. Are they buying a car, looking for a car, trading the car, or they just want service, or they just like, hey, think you're cool. Kind of setting that up to do that. Friend disconnector to take the people out that aren't interacting, but then using the friend connector to go in, like I said, to go into people that are, like you said, going into those groups to connect in. I know in Friend Connector, you can do countries, but you can't really do states and towns or nothing, right? Or zip codes. I wasn't know if there's any functionality on that. And then I was also going to be using the winner chicken dinner to run contests to keep people engaged. For contests and things like that, and then also using the fan for when people go live to kind of really kind of boost that so they can still drive them back to your profile list. That was the kind of thought process and flow I was thinking about. I was just seeing if you thought I was on the right path, or you think anything else I need to add to that flow.
Pretty much on the right path. Unfortunately, there's nothing really by zip code or anything like that. Right now, even the location on Friend Connector is only by country.
Yeah.
And right now, that isn't even really by country. What it's really by is because we can't really get their country information easily from Facebook. So what it's really by is we take their name and then we analyze their name, and based on their name, we derive the most likely country of origin. All right.
So quick question. So if that's the case, like I have one of my girls that I want her to more go in and focus on the Latino population of Athens, So would I put it more toward like Latin countries and then run that in the local group?
So,
or what do you think?
Yeah, so like if you want to target Latin people, then if you go in a local group, and you're assuming that everybody in there are local to a state or a specific area because they're in that group. And because they're in that group, that becomes a filter. But on Friend Connector, you're like, look, I want people from Mexico. I want people from Spain. I want people from Venezuela. I want all these Latin American countries. What you're going to end up with is Friend Connector is going to look at their name. And if they're Jose Rodriguez, they're probably going to be considered one of those from fucking Mexico or fucking any place where it's common that a name would be derived, because that's the only reason. That's the only way we basically guess their location based on their name. So if they have a Latin name, then you can target people with Latin names just by targeting Latin countries.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what I was thinking about for the low hanging fruit funnel, I already have the site and everything set up, is more of a salespeople preaching independence, just having a basic, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to get your profile up for just like $7, $5, add one of the software in there, kind of then set it up for a little bit of an upsell. And then once they kind of put their credit card in, then link in the rest of the infinite software that I have in, and just kind of get them in the pipeline to then push them over to just kind of nurture them up. Because part of my whole other system is having them come in and then helping them continue to keep growing their people, but kind of working that as a more low end for a salesperson, because salespeople don't genuinely, they're just not that forward thinking. I really, really want to focus all my energy toward the dealership, because those people have more money and ancillary money to spend. So I just wanted to kind of see on that. What did you kind of think about that?
All right. Now, the dealership is a little bit harder because that's not a person, that's an entity. Okay. So there's no personal Facebook profile. So keep in mind, all our software on the Facebook organic side is working for an actual person.
All right. Sorry, John. I'm listening.
So the dealership is really different because, again, that dealership is not a person, right? So for the individual people, all the software for the Facebook organic stuff is great for them because they're actually individual people. But the dealership is not an individual person. That's an entity, all right? At the end of the day, probably owned by a corporation or probably owned by a person. And that person at the dealership that actually owns the dealership probably may or may not want to actually do anything on Facebook or any actual marketing or anything like that, even though they do want the dealership to ultimately make more money and pay them more money, if that makes sense.
Right. That makes sense. So that's the reason why I was gonna more push a like the more of the Chirply angle. And having, because what happens is inside dealerships, they have what you call a BDC, a business development office. So a couple of the folks in there on a personal level would be growing it up. But I was gonna more push it from the Chirply angle and adding that kind of stuff in. I don't know what you thought about that.
Well, yes, but you could also push it from, not just the Chirply angle, but from the part that, okay, hey, you're some car dealership. You're going to have some salespeople. Now, those salespeople want what? Well, you already talked about this. They want to actually build their audience and they want to sell more cars. And they understand that, okay, if this person, okay, again, now this is kind of your pitch to the car dealership. You have all these salespeople, right? Now, if this salesperson wasn't reliant on you to generate leads and traffic as a car dealership, but they could generate their own leads and they could generate their own traffic and still close deals for your dealership, would that benefit you? Well, they're probably going to say, yes, that would benefit me. Why? Because now instead of me generating leads for all these different salespeople, maybe I'm generating leads for all these different salespeople. And some of these salespeople are generating leads for themselves as well. And if they close any of those leads, they're going to get the same amount of money to some extent as they would get if they closed one of my leads. So yes, that does benefit the car dealership, right? For this person to be getting, now this person already wants to do that, right? They already want to get their own leads because they want to be less dependent on the car dealership and be like, hey, I'm making my own way through life, la, la, la. Now, does that benefit them? Well, not so much, right? It doesn't benefit you so much. I mean, it somewhat benefits you for them to be dependent and not actually need you, but also you kind of don't like that, right? So to some extent, you can package this up where, okay, hey, it's the best of both worlds because one, this person could be using their own brand, generating their own leads, and making more sales from their actual own leads, and at the same time feel like they're becoming less dependent on you, which is going to make them feel better overall, which is probably going to actually make them perform better in the first place, which does actually benefit you. All right. So we can help them grow their brand, generate more leads, and feel like they're less dependent on you when they're really not less dependent on you. Why? Because here's a package where you can give them all the software and tools for them to actually do that. And because they have those software and tools to actually do that, they're going to feel like, oh, hey, well, everything's in my CRM account. I'm using the software, so I'm less dependent. But ultimately, where did they get that from? They got it, as a perk from being with you, the actual dealership, right? So you grant them access to that. Why? Because you buy them when, instead of me selling the package to your salesperson, you buy 20 of the packages and just let all your salespeople actually have it. So at the end of the day, when they're getting all those leads and putting it into their CRM, well, that's actually really your CRM, right?
Right.
Because you're the one actually, well, it's actually my CRM, but as long as you are paying me for it, then it's your CRM. And as long as they're using it, they feel like it's actually their CRM. Because what if, even if they left you and went to work at somebody else because you've provided them the tools and they just keep actually using those tools, you still actually get their data and their leads. So as they're actually
How would they still get all their data and leads?
oh, because at the end of the day, okay, hey, you still have access to the actual account. It's still your actual, it's still
Oh, okay.
it's still your actual account. So you can essentially, I mean, you still actually own the account. It's you're paying for it. So
Yeah.
you gave them the logins and everything. So at the end of the day, it's still your account. So anytime you want to get access to it, you essentially have access to it because it's your account. So you would just log in just like they would and get access.
Mhm. That's awesome. And so even though they're using it on their personal thing, it's still it's your account.
Yeah.
Okay. And so a couple of things because it's really interesting. It's a really good for a dealership model because they make a lot of money driving people into their service departments to get their cars fixed. So that builds up their basis, and then the more times you come to get your car fixed, eventually you're gonna buy a car there, right? So that's the reason why it's like that is really good working with that, tying that kind of stuff in for the folks that aren't ready right now, but they can still come to your service department. Salespeople are just more narrow focused. They want an immediate ROI. They don't care about bringing because they don't get paid on that on coming to bring people into a service department. They don't care about nurturing a business. They're just like, hey, how do I find the low hanging fruit?
Right.
So that's the reason why it's like I would probably try to have, make more offers and stuff like that on a dealership level to not just have them come in for cars, but also come in to get their car serviced or repaired.
Well, it seems like on a dealership level, again, you're selling a whole different, on a dealership level, you're selling a whole different type of service and package to that actual dealership, uh, than you are to an actual, a salesperson. Because again, like I said, you're not really going to have a dealership and that dealership have a personal Facebook profile that it's using,
Right.
because it doesn't have a personal Facebook profile. The dealership owner probably does, and the salespeople that work at the dealership probably do. But the dealership probably has a business page, but not actually a personal Facebook profile. And none of our stuff's really for business pages. It's all really for the personal brand and the personal actual profile.
Right. That's awesome. And so is there any way on a personal level to be able to run keyword like searches in to see like if your customers like somebody had a car accident or somebody had a death or things like that?
No.
Yeah, there's no way. Okay. And then also there's a way to set up in Facebook like when somebody goes live to you to be alerted, right?
In Facebook, yeah, probably. I think
Oh, okay.
you can do that for sure.
Okay. And so here's the killer number one question, right? Is that a lot of these dealerships right now, they're spending, I kid you not, like six figures, 100,000 plus on Facebook ads, right? So what they're doing is that they're using Facebook to go into my neighborhood in my backyard to go and run ads to all my customers and stealing my market share, right? Now, is there a way to kind of use the software to combat against that, or just like I know we can go in and steal their market share by going into their neighborhood and running friend connector and stuff like that, or even looking at their ads and stripping the people that liked it, or looking at their customer, looking at their salespeople, and taking their customers from them and different stuff like that. How would you kind of how would you attack that, or how would you use the software or an approach to kind of you know increase, combat the big boys that have all this money to spend on ads and you really don't?
Well, I'm not really going to try to combat them
Okay.
myself personally. So I'm not going to try to actually combat them. Probably, I'm going to probably try to actually leverage them probably not actually combat them. All right. So I'm going to probably try to actually leverage them is probably what I'm going to do. And I'm going to leverage them by actually checking out what they're doing and trying to piggyback off of what they're doing. Am I going to be able to stop any of them? Like if I'm combating them, it's kind of like, okay, hey, can I stop my competitors from running ads and trying to take market share in my area? No. I can't. I mean, I may be able to, like, I could go bomb them or something where they just don't fucking exist anymore. They can't run ads anymore because they're all blown out and shit. But that probably isn't the best ideal. As long as they're able-bodied and have monies and shit, I probably ain't going to be able to stop them from running ads no matter what I do. So now I could try to leverage the fact that they're running ads and hopefully, like, think about it. If I can find a local car dealership and they are actually running ads and I can find their ads and I can actually start clicking on their ads and getting pixeled on their ads. So I always start actually seeing their ads. If people are actually liking their ads and interacting with their ads, it could very well be that those are actually people local to me. People local to me that I would actually want to be connecting with. Or having the people that actually work for me connect with, and then doing my marketing process the normal way I would do organic marketing anyways. And that way, actually, like if they're going after my people and I can find on Facebook where they're going after my market and my market is also interacting with them, then boom, I'm going to start connecting with that market myself as well.
Right. I got you.
Like if I see some fucking dude and he's like, yo, hey, hey, I just got my car service. Like they're promoting car fucking oil change shit, car service shit, detailing, whatever, fucking buy car, whatever it is that they're promoting. And then now I'm seeing people comment on there that are like, yeah, I got this service. It was great. I hated it. Or they're asking questions. Well, what about this? What about that? Probably that's my market, right? It seems like that's probably also my market. I want to actually, now I can be connecting with those people for free by having anybody in my actual organization or even organizational accounts that are connecting with those people and starting the actual organic marketing process on those people that I'm connecting with. So that's how I would actually be leveraging them, right?
That's awesome. And is there any way, because I was been going through your PPL program, is there any ways that you can use the software to boost your Facebook ads if you decide to do so?
To boost your to boost your Facebook ads? Kind of indirectly, sure. And that indirectly way, that indirectly way would be basically some of this is actually in my organic marketing training, would be basically engagement hacking the engagement on those ads.
That's right. I remember that. I wrote that down. Right. I remember that. Put right down for the comments and liking and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now in Friender, there's going to essentially be something like that, because you'll be able to essentially have your engagement friends go in and auto post engagement on your stuff because you've connected with them. They've agreed to be engagement friends with you. You've agreed to be engagement friends with them, and because of that, they'll basically.
Oh, are you kidding me? That is so cool. That is awesome. That's nuts.
Well, that's something that will.
That's so now, crazy.
So now, if you think about it from the Friender perspective, you want to be able to offer it to, let's say, a dealership, and now all of their salespeople have, actually have Facebook accounts and sign up for Friender, and while they're at their office, be using Friender, and they all be engagement friends with each other, and then they all be engaging on each other's posts and even on ads and stuff. The ad stuff is probably still going to be a little bit hard. It may not be. Actually, I don't even know anymore because I don't run Facebook ads and haven't ran them in like 2 years. I migrated all to Google and YouTube for reasons.
Oh, elaborate on that. So you think that if I'm going to be focusing more on ads, I need to be focusing more on Google and YouTube? That's what you believe?
Well, that's what I do for sure.
Okay.
Because my audience isn't local. Now, even if I had a local audience, I would probably be doing both. I would for sure actually be doing both, but then I would probably have more presence maybe on Facebook at that time as well, just for the actual retargeting.
Okay.
But for me, yeah, my ads are primarily all just Facebook or sorry, just all Google ads. So I run search ads and then YouTube video ads. It's literally the only ads. I haven't ran Facebook ads in like 2 years.
So you're training, and you have training that's for that, because that's what I want to focus on. Do you recommend something else outside
For YouTube,
Google and YouTube ads?
so I think there's something in the PLR stuff, although I've never actually went through it. Most of that stuff is PLR stuff. I never even actually really looked at it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
So I don't personally have a training there that I've actually created yet on how to do it. They're both relatively simple. They're both relatively simple. I mean, they're not actually that hard to run the ads and figure out what you're doing. I guess advertising, as long as you can kind of understand advertising in general and campaigns in general. The technical aspect of, okay, how do you go in and actually set up a campaign is very different than the theoretical aspect of what's a campaign, what's an audience, what's a traffic source, what is the advertisement, and what are they seeing based on probably some predetermined stuff. So like hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Like a campaign theoretically is very, very different than an ad campaign and the technical aspects of the actual ad campaign.
Right. This one's awareness. I get what you're saying.
The technical assets of the ad campaign ain't really that hard to understand.
Awesome. No, I appreciate all this value. Kind of flipping through my stuff. Yeah, is there outside of just kind of figuring out, there's nobody you really recommend to follow on the YouTube or Google, or the YouTube or Google ads, and any like somebody to follow on Facebook or a bunch of videos on YouTube?
I'm personally not really a follower.
Okay.
I have all Dan Henry stuff, and I've started watching some YouTube stuff that wasn't actually by him. It was by somebody else. Didn't actually pay attention to it because it was kind of like background noise for me while I was trying to run my company and shit. So I can't really recommend anybody, because that's like, I'm not really a follower where I really actually follow people on exactly how to go in and actually set up the. So I learned how to do it just basically by going in and actually doing, like, just setting stuff up. So.
Oh, okay. Because I know we're about to wrap up. Two major questions. I was trying to figure out where my list was. I found it. How do you? So I was gonna set up, and I have my website and all this stuff set up, and I have like a little mini funnel for my salespeople stuff. The dealership, which is a higher price point, I was kind of more pushing that toward a more discovery call and things like that. But should I be setting up that funnel for the salespeople and stuff like that? Should I be setting that stuff up in Go Higher Level? Like, I kind of know how to do click funnels, but I don't really know much about this Go Higher Level. But I noticed that that's where everyone's going, and it seems like it integrates with all of your stuff. So I just wanted to get your feedback and thoughts on that.
I don't hate Go High Level. I do have a picture that I created somewhere that's like the Calvin and Hobbes guy, like, you know, the Calvin and Hobbes pisses on something, some logo.
Yeah.
So he's got a Chirpley tattoo and he's pissing on Go High Level.
Yeah.
I have a white label of it just because people are going to buy it and people are interested in it, and there's actually a market for it, and they're going to pay either Go High Level directly, or they're going to pay somebody that white labels Go High Level directly already anyways. So I would just prefer to take advantage of that. And if you're going to pay them, you can also pay me for the exact same thing. Plus, I'll give you more stuff that most people can't actually give you because they didn't develop all my software as well.
Okay. Hey, John, I want you to meet my, it's like, I'm not even on the thing. Here's my little baby. Here's my little son, Enzo. Sorry, I didn't know my camera wasn't on. Enzo, say hi to John.
Hey, Enzo.
Here you go, JoJo. Last thing is really, how would you, Chirpley, I'm starting to find out, does so much stuff. Like, Chirpley is like, I think it's such a bomb tool. One thing is, over here in the States, a lot of the dealers have gotten in trouble with the ringless voicemail, but as long as I have the consent, I'm fine, right?
100%. As long as you have the consent, you're fine for sure.
Okay, and how do I really soup up the power dialer?
Okay, well, I want to change my answer. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. I'm gonna change.
I get what you're saying.
I don't really fucking know because
I got you. I got you. I'm not. I got you, John. I appreciate you. So, like, how do I really soup up the power dialer though? Because I like the fact, like, I can, like, my salespeople. You're not thinking they're not going to sit there and nobody's going to sit there and dial like they used to. People just don't do it. But I noticed with the Chirpley, you can get all the numbers and click all the boxes, and then it will just dial one after the other, or it will like dial all at the same time, and whoever picks up. Or what's the whole process on that?
It will dial them one after another. So
okay,
it will just dial them in a list. So you basically create a list. Like, you basically are creating a list because you're clicking all those people, and then once you start the dialer, it will just start with the first person on your list. Attempt to call them. You hang up whenever you hang up. Whenever you hang up, when you hang up, you can either just go to the next person, or you can leave a disposition, and then that disposition itself and you can tie different actions based on that actual disposition. Okay. So then you just run through the list. The different actions are like, okay, let's say I create a disposition for no answer. I create a disposition for voicemail connected. I create a disposition for connected. I create a disposition for interested. The disposition is, i.e., the desired outcome of the call, or what was actually the end of the call, like what happened in the call. And then with that, I can tie in different actions that happen automatically based on what the actual disposition is. So let's say, for example, I only want the phone to ring 3 times. So I'm just going to dial them up, and then after it rings 3 times, if nothing's happened, I'm just going to click end, and then I'll pick a disposition that call later. And call later, I can say, okay, hey, move to this stage in an actual pipeline, because on that stage in the pipeline, I'm just going to go to that list and put everybody back in a dialer again and dial through those people again, right? Now, if somebody picked up, then I'm going to have that conversation. And then based on that conversation, I may pick another disposition. He unsubscribed. He's interested, but busy, right? And those dispositions can create then other actions that even more follow-up stuff is going to happen.
Awesome. What are also some features to Chirpley that you would really see on a dealership level that you think would really kind of put it on steroids?
I mean, having the sales pipeline alone, having a central way where they can basically give all their salespeople phone numbers that are dedicated phone numbers that then ultimately all kind of lead into lead into one line that they can have all the recordings of, listen to the actual conversation, send out bulk text messages, implement an actual pipeline and a sales process for people where it's like, okay, in the dealership, walk-ins, somebody that's came to the lot and looked, that's still looking, somebody that's, you know, in the process of some credit app or something like that.
Can you so is MF and Evan, right? Is that an AI chat bot, or is that just more of like a chat bot? And like, and is there gonna be like an AI kind of like connection into like Chirply to like answer the stuff that like you do an AI kind of an AI like messaging and stuff on your text messages and stuff like that? Or is that something that we already have that I don't know how to connect, or what's the thoughts on that?
No, there's no AI right now in any of
Okay.
the software products.
Okay. So MF and Evan is more of like a setting up like a Manny chat, kind of like kind of setting up your flows like that, right? It's not going to automatically answer the questions for you.
It's more rudimentary where it's not really a flow. It's just you're listening to specific keywords, and based on those keywords, you have an auto response based on that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So could you set something up similar to that could you have that running through Chirply?
Yeah, so Chirply has its own auto responder that you can set up, and based on hearing keywords and text messages, it will auto respond to it.
So a lot of these things that they're talking about, because that's the new thing in dealerships. They're like, oh, okay, hey, we have Matador or Connect AI, and also they're saying that they have AI people answering all your text messages and setting up appointments and things like that. You know what I mean? So is that like really true, or that's not that true? Is it just like they just respond to keywords?
Yeah, just there's no AI or anything like that. It just responds to keywords and messages.
Okay. And if I wanted to have it set up a process where it's like you kind of push it automatically from someone wanting interest to completely setting up an appointment, I just have to kind of set up those flows and keywords through Evan, right?
For Facebook, yes, that goes through Meth and Evan.
Okay.
Anything on
Okay.
Facebook.
All right. And last question, very last question. Based on kind of what the stuff we talked about, are with all the different software and stuff that's out there, can you think of some like features that you would think that would be really beneficial to not just salesmen and dealership that probably I'm not like thinking about?
Like what the dealership is not actually thinking about?
No. Like, because there's so many. My thing is, it's so many. I've literally spent like 2-3 weeks, almost a month, going through all the software, watching all the videos, trying to write down, okay, all the applications each one would have to a dealership, each one would have to salespeople. And literally, I should have had this conversation with you like a month ago, because you just pretty much broke it down for me in 10 seconds. And I just want to see, is there anything else like you can think about, like, hey, I would use this for this, and I would push this, and this. These are awesome features to do this, and this. You know?
But there's not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Cool. All right, John. I'm gonna be pushing this stuff out. I'm gonna get all my flows and stuff live, my little funnel live, and also my website for dealers and stuff live. And once it's live, kind of touch base with you, see what you think about that. But looking forward to everything else rocking and rolling. Appreciate being a part of the team.
Yeah, I'll try to think more about what you asked me. Honestly, I kind of got distracted when you were asking, and because of that, I didn't like think super fast and figure everything out. Because somebody told me that they lost their trust in me while I was also looking at something else. So
no, I appreciate the honesty, John. And if you even want to send me you thinking about it, you want to shoot me a video anytime or a message or whatever, or you just say, hey, let's jump on a call, hit me up, and I'll drop everything, and we can talk. But I appreciate you. I just literally want us to kind of you to download my thought process, and when things come up, hey, be like, hey, Marion would like this. because I really see the benefits and I love what's going on. I'm gonna push this out really wide over here in the States.
That's ultimately, you know, like ultimately my main vision. Like I'm pretty certain I'll never accomplish it myself personally, but like my utopian vision of accomplishment would be almost just that, where I could essentially just download your vision and your thought process right into my brain, and you could actually do the same. You could actually do the same to me and all of the world and all of the information that we already have possible. That part is actually facilitated, where man and machine and information, and the way information is essentially understood through a conscious being, through the sensory input that comes from a organic creature with what we would consider a consciousness, which I think is really possible.
Yeah, that's real cool. That's real cool. Thanks again, John. I gotta run back in. And when I lost you for a minute, did I lose the recording from the beginning, or am I gonna still have the whole recording? I think you stayed on, so I think I still have the whole
Yeah,
recording.
the recording is there. I'll just have to actually give it to you.
All right. Thanks again, my friend.
Yep. See ya.
Please give your wife my regards.
I will. See ya.
Bye, sir.